Hi, this is Hi Bob Poor Bob, and we're about to play some Ultimate General Civil War.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing the second run here of Gettysburg. It might be the third. I have a pretty interesting one that I kind of want to show you guys. Might just throw it up there just for fun. But I might throw it up third. I don't know. But I had a run where on day one I won with only like 2,800 casualties. And I thought that was pretty impressive. I have found something out. You cannot capture or kill all of the enemy units or you win, period. Even if there's time left on the clock. Unlike some of the other ones, if you kill all the units, you end the battle, which is too bad. I did not want that to happen. I wanted to be able to capture and kill everybody. So in this run, we're going to be doing our best. Well, we're going to not capture everyone, period. Like, we're going to capture most of them, but we're going to leave a couple of them alive at the very end. So what we're going for is 3 20-pound parrots in this first corps. We're going to go with a unit of infantry, a 20-pound parrot, this 20-pound parrot, and this cav in our starting lineup. The 3 units we can pick, and then our next units in will be the other 2 of these, the other 2 20-pound parrots, and the sniper. The sniper is so that if I haven't finished off the cannon by then, they'll give me vision on the cannon, and we can, once we have all 3 of these, then we can finish them off. The cav is for a little trick that I'm going to love showing you guys. Then this corps, we're going to go ahead and bring in a second cav unit because they're really helpful for finishing up some of the last things. Some guys usually kind of sit around on the edges and do different things, and cav is really good for running them down and making them pay. This whole corps will not be here, so it's basically just everything thrown in there. This is all the stuff we're not bringing. 3 cav units, we're bringing 2. I think we bring 1 10-pounder parrot. Is that right? Yeah, 1. It's basically just because I don't need any more infantry units. It's not actually because I need a 10-pounder parrot for anything. These 2 are just extra infantry units that we don't need. And then we have our rifle cav that I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use because I keep finding out that everything else is just so much better than them. They can't take hits, and it's really hard to replace the good guns that we have on them. Like, we don't have but 124 of them, and we only have 2 units armed with those. So, yeah. And they're way better than the other stuff. These, where are they? Spencer carbines. Yeah. I think they're better than Maynard's by quite a bit. Yeah, 260 range, and these have a range of 280. I would like something that had a range of 300, but I don't think that even exists, does it? No. So, I think these are, yeah, and they reload like twice as fast, don't they? Fire rate 67, fire rate 176. So these things are just totally beast whenever it comes to firing at things. And to be honest, it would be kind of nice to be able to do that. Like, I really like using cav weapons as just shooting at things. Just run up, shoot. And you could do that even better with these. Problem is that you give up so much melee that it's basically not even worth it. At least that's my opinion. Well, it has been 4 minutes already, and we haven't even gotten started fighting, so we better get at it, right? You guys are gonna hate me if I don't. Okay, so we're going there, there, and there. Oh, I forgot to talk about. I went ahead and switched our commanders over to speed on both of them. I find that that helps a little bit. I mean, it's only 5%, but man, like, every little bit counts. Whenever you're trying to do some of the maneuvers I'm trying to do, it really helps not have to run your guys as much and all that. So here we go. Grab this guy, put him here. Grab this guy, put him here. There and there. This guy is to bait out the charge on a cav unit that sits down here, so that our cav unit here can run right past and all the way back here, which is, you know, because at the beginning of the next phase, a artillery unit spawns back here by itself for a few seconds. It doesn't stay by itself, but for a few seconds it's by itself, and it gives you just enough time to kill it, run into the corner, sit there, and then run back here. And then you have to defend yourself against all the cav that starts chasing after you once you've done that, because obviously they get jealous. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and record over this post-production. I will see you guys there. Well, hello to our post-production of Gettysburg Day 1 here. So our goal is basically to draw them in and kill as many of their really super annoying skirmishers here as possible, hopefully, is what we're hoping for. And to also kill their artillery there as much as possible, and then get this artillery here, just because that is super cool that you can do that, and you want to try to get away with everybody. They do have different spawn timers, so you have to get lucky on what spawn timers they have, or it won't work. And that's also a 3-star cav, just to get that to work. If you don't have a 3-star cav, that will not work. And I'm running them all the way back here because there will be units of cav that come down to try to deal with me. And so I'm running a unit of infantry along with bringing down those snipers to deal with that cav unit. And then as soon as they get in the water there, then I can come back and get them. And I think that I even get them shattered here pretty quick. Yep. We're going to get them shattered there, I think. No, not quite. But we kept them off the supply wagon, and that's a good thing. I'm pretty happy with that. We also, I think, yep, the cannon up there is gone, so right now they don't have any cannons on the battlefield. We dealt with both of the batteries they've gotten so far, and now I can bring all 3 of my batteries around to help with the next pieces of the battle. And we're just keeping everybody moving that way at this point. Their cav starts chasing us down, but they decide to not engage heavily because it's really not worth it for them. So we have the supply wagon of theirs that we're just going to put in the corner over there and leave it alone. We want that. We're going to use that cav unit to kill another unit of artillery, so we need him ready for that. We're going to try to flank the fortifications there so that we can get them out of the fortifications really easy. We're keeping our infantry facing to the north so that if anything starts happening, if they start coming down at us, then we'll have our men available. Obviously start getting in a firefight a little bit here. They're going to spawn in like several units of infantry and a unit of artillery in the city there in the next little phase. Might even be, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just like a couple units of infantry. There's one of them there. I think it's 2 units of infantry. So we're going to use our general to kind of distract him some too. We're bringing our artillery like all the way over here to help with the next phase of the battle because they tend to stay out of range in the next one. So we need men to be available for that. The general can be really helpful here to be a pretty good distraction. Didn't want to get in range yet, because our next unit isn't up and around. Yep, and there he is. And the supply wagon. So we're going to use our general to get the supply wagon and our cav to get the unit of artillery there. And we're going to try to just shoot him a bit, because if you can get him, if you get in melee in there, you just can't do hardly any damage. And you'd rather kill off a good number of them with just your shots if possible. So we're moving up here. You can get into really nice city positions there, and that can really help. And I would say don't move your snipers quite like what I did just there. It's better to move them out just a little bit. And see, now that we've knocked them out of the city, then the cav can go ahead and get at them, because now they can get good damage on them, where they couldn't really before. You just have to be careful that we don't go too far out there, because you don't want to get involved with any infantry units, obviously, because that could be really bad. We take a couple volleys there, or a volley there, I think, from that infantry. It's not the greatest, but it is what it is. And you see we've lost 51 cav, and they have taken out 2 full units of artillery, which is really good. We're going to get that guy spun around so he can deal with that infantry unit that might be coming down after the cav. I'm a little bit mad that these guys started routing that way. Was not the plan. We just ran them just for a second, just to kind of get them away from one another, but I think I forgot to take them back off a run. I meant to take them off a run. That was my fault there. So we're doing pretty good at this point. I'm feeling pretty confident about the fact that we are in a really good spot. They don't have any artillery left, and we've still got all of our artillery left. Our artillery is doing a pretty good job of beating them up. We're going to start moving up and getting flanking shots on this position now. We've trapped this unit, and there it shattered, which is great. We didn't specifically need it really badly, but it's nice to have. And now our general's over here, so he can give the cover bonus to our infantry, and immediately they are routed because we are coming from the side. And yes, the whole fact that you can way too easily route them, really. But so now here we are looking for the best cover. We want to try to cover up the edges of all of our units so that none of them can get flanked too easily here. But we want 2 units facing forward, because anybody that gets in that fortification over there, we want to immediately hit as hard as possible, while still maintaining a pretty good defensive line to the rear so that we don't get outmaneuvered. Because obviously that would be bad. We don't want to get outmaneuvered here. So now it's basically just time to keep the units moving over. We want to be in a good position for whenever the next phase opens up and their cavalry starts moving down. And I'm like, ooh, let's get a shot on their cavalry. But then he moves forward, disappears a little bit, and then I move forward and I can't even see him. So it's just like, I guess I'm not going to get to see him. which is fine. See, they got into the fortifications up there. But as soon as they get in range of my men, they'll get hit really hard. There is kind of a problem with that fortification. It tends to, whenever they put skirmishers in it, they oftentimes are outside of your range. Not like that they actually are outside of your range, just that your units won't fire at them until, like, I don't know, they just won't fire at them. It's weird. I was worried that they were going to see those supply wagons down there, but I think I get away with, yeah. I was like, wow, they are like chasing it down, I think. Works out okay. See, there's the fact that they have skirmishers in there, and I'm not firing at them. And I was just like, why are you guys not firing? But then whenever I click on it, like, they pretty much immediately fire. I still had to put them on hold fire again, hold position again, to keep them from moving, but they didn't move to fire. It's kind of a weird thing there. I don't really understand what's going on there. So we don't want them to charge us right off the bat, so we're breaking off skirmishers. We've got 3 units of snipers just sitting there waiting for it to open up. We'll be able to get shots on their artillery right off the bat, which is awesome. That cav is going to do wonders here. This is actually a different playthrough than the one you were just watching. I'm very sorry. I took a pause at the end of the last area, and I forgot to hit record whenever I came back, which is extremely annoying, but so this is a different playthrough. It's very hard to tell because, as you can see, my setup is almost exactly the same. The problem with this run was that I accidentally killed everyone in this run, so I had to do it again, which is the next run, which is the run that you started off seeing, which you can see that I lost 11 less cav in this one so far, which, I mean, is hardly even a difference. I think that, see, we get them to keep rotating a little bit there by kind of false going after them with the cav. I don't think they would have been able to do anything anyway, but it's kind of nice. So all of these guys will be able to deal with the... There's a unit of artillery that's still in that city there, so we want to be able to deal with that, while this cav deals with the artillery that is down in here in the south. We want to stay away from the flag, because if we capture the flag, we move on to day 2 on accident. We don't want to do that. They're getting in the fortifications there, but we are going to move in and deal with that. We activate their charge, and obviously we don't want to get charged down there, so we are moving in to stop that. We're a little bit upset that they're moving into the city here. This is one thing that is very difficult to keep them from doing, is moving into the city with a couple units here. I don't know why they like doing that so much while they're moving they move a bunch of units literally out of the city, and then they move these 2 units into the city from up north. It's like, what is up with you? Like, you're not thinking straight there. It doesn't really make sense, because you would think that if they wanted to move units into the city, they would just leave the units that spawn in the city instead of moving them out. The AI does some very weird things here. We get them to turn around with our general unit there, which keeps them from firing as much at our unit, and one of those units even backs off into the water a bit, which is nice. We definitely want to keep them from coming forward again. This unit down in the south will be the one that holds the side over here. Our cav is doing a great job. I'm really happy with it. We do get this artillery killed off. I think I was trying to aim for the artillery with my pistol shot, but because it probably would have shattered him. The problem is that you can't actually aim who you shoot with your pistol shot, really, because if you actually click on a unit, it will not necessarily shoot the unit that you click on. oh, it won't shoot at all. It'll instead, instead of shooting, you will just melee, and I didn't want to melee. I wanted to do the pistol shot. I just didn't want to, there we go, tell them to fire that, because that's the problem right now. Excuse me. So yeah, so this is always a little bit annoying. These guys always kind of route up in weird directions, and we need our snipers to be moving up that way to both help knock those two units out of the city and to keep those units going north, because we don't want, you never want to sneak up behind a unit. Did you see how my general was about to sneak up behind the unit? And I was like, ooh, don't want to do that. You never want to sneak up behind a unit, because it will just immediately turn instead of rotating. And if a unit does that whole immediate turnaround thing, you can sometimes get hit really hard by a volley, and you don't want that to happen. You want to move beside them and make them rotate instead. So he's already wavering there, so we're feeling pretty good about our chances with that. I guess what I should have done is only have one unit facing to the north in the wood line, and then have one unit facing to the east, like I have it, but only have one unit facing north, and then I could free up one more unit to actually move into the city a little bit faster maybe. But it's just really hard to see, and then we start having this problem. That's one of the biggest problems here, is that I have nobody to cover this. And this is one of the reasons why this one also gets redone, though, because this is really annoying that they route through this hole here. So I found out basically on this run that you need to put one of your snipers to cover this gap in between your two lines. Is the best way to cover that I have found. I think it's the general back there that probably makes them route through, but sometimes they will just walk through and then get far enough through that they're already past both of your units, so then they'll route south instead. Whereas if you put a sniper right near that bridge there, that little bridge, the south bridge there, you can get really nice shots on units as they're marching down, and also have the huge benefit of, I was like, I really want to shoot them, but they just don't want to get shot. And then those other units are going to come back, and it's just, it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. We'll deal with it. I'm a little bit upset about that they got that off on me, but it's just not really that big a deal. Doesn't actually really affect the gameplay all that much. We're going to be leaving 3 units here to push them off the hill. Once they start falling back, we will take all the other units, including the sniper, and bring them over here to help out with other things. The next portion of the battle starts in 37 minutes. Do they start spawning in 37 minutes? That barely even feels like we have enough time to get over there, but we do have enough time to get over there before they spawn in. I think they spawn in sometime during the next phase, but not immediately. So we do have a little bit of time. There just is no good fortifications or good cover to hold in the center there with a regular infantry unit, because those houses may look like houses, but maybe if you have smaller units you can do it. But with the size of units I have, I can't get any cover that is very good, and I'm not using my general over here, so that's also kind of a problem, that if I'm not using my general, it's hard to get full cover with, or even good cover in, you know, not as good as spots whenever that's happening. So we're just moving everybody forward. I don't think I really need the 10-pounder parrot, but I don't really need another infantry either, so I just go ahead and bring it. It keeps some fire on them and stuff, and it's slightly helpful, I guess. Now we just have snipers everywhere, and I think pretty much all of that is city in there, so you get 100% cover, even like up to the edge of that other building. You can always mouse over it and look for how good a cover it is. Well, they now have a unit down there, and I don't even remember how he got there. Oh yeah, that's the one that routed down in the south. So now we've got to worry about trying to get him off of there. We're going to have units spawning in soon, and it's just like really super annoying right now. Like, I really didn't want to have to deal with these guys doing this right now. And then another unit routes through, because I didn't have my sniper all the way out there like I should have. And now we're taking shots from our own guys, and overall just having a grand old time. See, once they get in that fortification, for some reason they like to route backwards. I don't remember how many units route backwards here, but, well, there's number 3. And we're even capturing the flag on accident. Like, this flag has a bad radius for us, in all reality. Look at this. 3 units have routed basically through a tiny gap in our line. And they didn't move through it because we could fire at them from both sides. They're just routing through because there's nothing you can do to stop them from routing. So that is one thing that you definitely want to do. You want to put a sniper there, like, towards the center of that. And maybe even swing out those infantry a little bit if you have to. You're going to take more losses, but you got to do what you got to do. Do a good job of getting that guy to turn his flank, which allows us to get good shots on him with our other unit. And we pretty much are moving all of these guys into position. You want to be really careful with your infantry as you move down. Sometimes they will charge down after you and can really hurt a lot if you're not careful. So yeah, we're just moving in slowly but surely. We want to keep a good surround going on those units so that they move back towards the ridge and not going the wrong directions, which I feel like we should be able to do here pretty easily. We only have 1 unit versus their 2 there, so we're a little bit outnumbered, but not terribly outnumbered. We're going to move into better positions this time rather than the positions we were in last time, because we did not take the best positions last time. We don't want to get into a fight with their with their units that spawn in. Like, getting in melee right off the bat is not optimal. I keep redesigning exactly how I want to go there. They usually will not route straight towards the corner. I don't know exactly why, but it seems like for the most part you can get away with leaving a little bit of an opening while trying to take that hill to the south and west. You don't have to have all 3 units spread out perfectly. That allows you to get a better flanking shot on all those units. I'm trying to get good cover here, and it kind of worked, I think. With the general there, it gets okay cover. We're moving all the rest of these units around to try to get there in time. We're having to set some of them to run to get there. And so, yeah, these units can get flanking shots on the units that are sitting in any of the fortifications, basically, as they move forward. We don't want to get any of their units running down towards us, but we do want to make sure and keep a good surround going. We were able to knock that unit out of the fortifications with our sniper there, which is perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. We are able to kind of wrap up one of these units at least. I don't know exactly if we'll get them to shatter or not, but we're at least trying. It's getting rather annoying here that they still have this unit down here. Yeah, see here, we're actually trying to get into better cover. We don't want to be out in the open if we can help it. I really thought that this would go better than this, but see, now we're getting them to route away. That's good. We can keep our snipers running after them, get our cavs some more kills maybe even. These guys walked off of each other, so they're no longer in the position that I wanted them in, and this guy's marching towards me. He's going to be in the house, and we're not yet far enough forward, and if we did move forward into the better cover, then we'd be facing a bunch of units in there, and we really do not want to be facing a bunch of units. Now that they're all forward, we set them to run so they will move into positions faster, because that's extremely important. You want to, for the small little bits of run, see, now they've got like 4 units basically getting in my backfield here, which is their backfield, but I mean, it really feels like I've taken over this area by this point. And they just keep sending units back here. Units keep routing back here instead of routing towards the rest of the units they have. I know that unit basically can't route towards the rest of their units because I have units there, but it's still annoying. They can't even see that unit. They shouldn't even know that it's there. But it is whatever. I get it. I'm pushing them that way a bit. It's not what I meant to do. They've got another another skirmisher unit that's going to be taking pot shots on my unit now, even though my sniper is sitting there. They have been getting shots on my units for free while my units just sat there and stared at them, even though whenever I pushed to attack, my units could easily attack them, which is super annoying. Okay, we did get a surrender out of that. That's good. We've got a full condition cav, brand new cav unit there and look at this. They almost looked like they were about to route towards us there. That would have been ridiculous. So they are starting to spawn in here, so we need to try to get into position fast. Or soon, or something, because this is going to be bad if we don't. There we go. And we did not get our units in position and held in time like we should have. And we get flanked. And routed. And I'm just like, seriously? I knew where I wanted my units to be, and that was definitely not it. In the other playthrough, I do this better. I actually get it done right, and I'm not recording. It's really annoying. We get another capture. This time it cost us quite a few casualties, though. I think they got a volley off while I was being distracted with everything else that was going on. We are taking some major hits here, which was not the plan. I should have paid more attention to several units right now. Several things went on here that just did not go as well as planned. Normally, if you can have your unit set up correctly for this, I think I take the flag, I can't remember. But that routing unit, I just cannot get him to stop going north there for a bit, and that, I think, captured the flag almost. Did it? No, it didn't quite. It was close. It was very close. But we were able to avoid that very slightly. Very lucky there. And see, they're starting to move into that fortification again, and I'm like, they're going to route south again. So I start moving my cav down there. But this time I have 2 snipers there, so I should have known better. I don't think they route south this time, because we definitely have enough men this time that they shouldn't be. Usually the area that I have the most trouble with, that guy's a little bit close, isn't he? I think they spawn like in that house. Look how close we are to taking it. It's like right there on the edge of taking it. Still, even with their units there and their general there, like, they barely hold control of it. So yeah, they spawn there. We get a good flanking shot and a good shot with the other unit, and they're routing. And I think we keep from making contact with them this time, but I'm not 100% certain. Trying to get in a little bit better cover there. And we have moved into range on accident, and taken several hits there, which we did not intend to take. We're going to move our units forward here again, now that they have backed off. Going to go ahead and get a flanking shot on that unit there. Hopefully get him out of the fortification really quickly. I think it does not take many shots for that to happen. We are just like right on the edge of taking that still. And I'm like, I cannot afford to take that on accident. I'm really worried. It's not turning back to being their color. Like, and that cav unit is going to capture it if he actually moves that far. But obviously, they routed backwards this time, which is exactly what we've wanted them to be doing this whole time. And in doing so, that is much better. So this time, we do go ahead and get these guys moved forward and actually put them on hold with their units out to keep units from coming forward at them. Or at least one of them did. Let's see, do we get the other one? Please tell me we do. Yes, we get that guy on hold with his units out. Let's see, do we do it with the other one? Not sure if we do or not. We should, but not sure if we will or not. That guy, yes. There we go. We get him on hold, get his units out so that they won't just come marching up to a unit that's double stacked like that pretty much ever, which is great news for us. These units are all moving forward. That's good. We're slowly pushing in here. Swing that guy around since we no longer don't have support on that flank. We have plenty of support there. Our cav gets the shatter. That's perfect. The cav needs to go over there and deal with that general unit, hopefully. Trying to get everybody lined up here so that we don't have problems with that. But it's just kind of the way this thing goes. You want to try to get units that are on flanks of other units to fire if possible. Our units to the west there, we're flanking the unit out of the fortifications, but then our unit to the north there is flanking the fortifications. So you want to have them fire at each other's opponents, so that then you can get them both to rout faster by getting flanking shots. See, we flank that really fast, and then now we can... That is one thing that I didn't do here in the south. Like, that unit, I meant for it to be flanking the fortification, and I should have probably let it continue to flank the fortification, but I instead... Oh, man. I'm going to try to knock their general onto the flag. Hint, hint, it does not work. We just instead kill their general. We were trying. I think the artillery ends up killing him. And I'm just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. As soon as I get close with my my guy, he dies from artillery fire. I think. Do we put him on hold fire? Are we gonna put him on hold fire? You need to go on hold fire. So I bring my general up to try to block him too. I'm gonna try to block him in with as many units as possible here and try to drive him to the south, and the artillery kills him instead. And I'm just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So this is actually what causes me to do this. Taking this fortification here, and I was like, well, that's it. This run is over. And it is. Like, there's nothing I can do to get them to take that back, really. It's just impossible to get them to take it back once you've captured it like that. We start getting a bunch of surrenders there in the corner. Pretty happy with that. We turn off the supply. We should have put away the skirmishers before we charged, because charging with skirmishers is a really bad idea. It does not work at all. They take huge numbers of casualties, and it's just not worth it at all. Big units do much better in there. Because I'm facing off against bigger units. If you're facing smaller units, maybe the skirmishers would be a big enough size to matter. But at 2,500, the 250 size skirmisher just is not enough to really do well against them. See, they have moved back into the fortifications again. I should have been pushing harder here. Oh no, this is the other run now. Okay, so we've switched over to the run, the original run, the run that we started this map on, which is good. We were more careful here. We have not taken some of the losses that we did in the last one, which has been good. We did a lot better capturing the south units. We did not capture the flag this time, but we did almost everything the same. We just got the units into position better and more efficiently and all that. I think we take less losses on the units on the side here during the course of the battle by paying attention to them, not letting that skirmisher sit in the fortification and shoot me for a while. We take less losses with our, not much less losses. Like they're at 499 over there, so they've taken 150 losses. So it's pretty similar. We have everybody on hold down here so they can regain condition. And the few units that we had that had full condition, we're telling them now to walk away. They can both get into position to back up our units over here. But we go ahead and, I'm actually telling units to back off of the line even. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that I did that, because I don't get as many captures as I wanted here, or as many kills even as I wanted here. I figured that my biggest problem here was going to be the fact that you can't capture everyone. But because I can't capture everyone, I don't want to move in too early, because you can just end up capturing everyone basically on accident. Like, these guys could have moved forward a long time ago. They should have moved forward a long time ago. We should be taking these guys out faster, because we can't allow them to sit there and continue to kill us. But I'm trying to trade time for losses. I'm trying to take more time to kill them so that I take less losses. But what ends up happening is that I end up just not doing everything that I wanted here, because, like right now, I'm stopping my units. Why am I stopping my units? Like, they should be moving forward. Like, even just for a second there was no reason to even... My first reaction right now is to stop. And that's kind of the problem here. I need to be pushing forward a little bit more aggressively here. We only have 30 minutes left. And it ends up coming back, not to bite me really. Like, I don't think that I really have any problems with this run, really. I'm just a little bit disappointed in my execution, just here and there. Like, right now, all those units could be moving forward in the north. Like, they should be moving forward in the north. And from the south and east, like, those units should have moved forward a bit. Like, everybody should be forward just a little bit of what they are. Like, I shouldn't be holding back quite as much as I am. So now we move those guys off since they have 100 condition. Just feel like I'm a little bit too timid here. I pull back another unit. I'm really not sure how I feel about that now. Looking at it afterwards, I mean, I felt like I had enough men here, is basically what it boils down to. I thought that I would have enough men here. We come into vision of another unit and get shot instead. So not only am I not doing this aggressive enough, but whenever I am aggressive, I'm making the wrong decisions. I didn't see that unit come into vision there, and I didn't account for him appropriately like I should have. These guys should be better in the city, which they're now moving there. They're getting another shot on that unit for free, basically, because I'm not paying enough attention. My units are running out of the houses down in the south there again, so I'm not even paying attention to that enough. I'm pretty much 100% focused on this side of the fight, and yet I'm absolutely failing to get any of the goals that I want here, which is terrible. Like, I should not be failing to get any of my goals here. Like, we have more men than them by far. We have much better positioning than them. Yes, they have some cover, but we can move on them from multiple different directions at the same time because we have the numbers to do it. And instead, we continuously just barely move forward enough, and then get our units in positions where they take shots from other units that we could have been smarter about. And I think basically what it boils down to is if you're not pushing hard enough into this, then you take extra casualties because they all keep regenning all of their condition and all of their morale. And it just leads to huge problems in the long run because, like right now, too many of their units are getting back all of that without us pushing them. We need to be more aggressive. Like that unit's routing, those units are routing. Like, my men should have been moving forward already, and they're not. Like, I'm not moving them forward at all. I'm really disappointed in how I played this battle. Like, the north needs to be moving down. They're all routing up there, and instead they're just standing there. 13 minutes left. Like, we don't have enough time to be dealing with this part of the battle because this isn't the side of the battle that's retreating. This is the side of the battle that's holding firm. You need to push in from behind. Oh my goodness. I'm really annoying myself right now. Yeah, all the units in the north are just sitting there, just waiting for orders. I should be giving orders to multiple different units at a time instead of, there we go, we finally come to the north. We're going to finally give a horrible order that basically does nothing. We should be giving all of those units orders to move forward instead, because as soon as those units rout, all our units are going to stop. They're going to start walking all over each other. And I basically took 2 steps forward up in the north, and one unit runs off because he's standing on another unit. Ugh. I'm getting tunnel vision here, and it not working. It's not working very well. We are going to go ahead and get in here, though. You can capture the flag with, I think, how many minutes left? Let's see. Once we capture this flag, we'll see how many minutes you could have at the end. As long as you don't capture all their units, you can capture this flag. If you capture all their units, then you will automatically win the battle, even if the timer is still contested. It will extend the timer, extend the mission time long enough that you can win, no matter what you do at that point. So we're definitely moving in here, finally, but they're still in the fortifications. They've still got men that are, and a lot of their units are now surrendering, like chain surrendering. Well, that means that whenever you charge, oftentimes you'll be charging at a unit that then chain surrenders or shatters, and then your units will stop. And that's always fun. I need to get that guy moving. We did take a little bit, like we need to move our cap. No, okay, that guy's captured, shattered. We only have 2 minutes left. We made that charge. way too late. We might get one more capture here. Right now, basically all we're doing is wasting condition, and we're not even going to get any captures. Hardly. One capture. Let's see. How many captures do we end up getting? I don't even know. There's another capture, so I think that's pretty much the end of the captures at this point. I think. Not 100% on that. Yep. Terrible. Terrible move. I didn't even see. Okay. That's the end. Okay, so I went ahead and counted. And if you guys, I'm sure you guys noticed, there's a big, huge gap in my recording, which really makes me mad. I hit pause in the game, and instead it paused my recording, because evidently if I'm hit unpause in the game, I meant to hit unpause in the game, and I hit the spacebar, which actually pauses the recording, which I did not know. So I figured out why some of my recordings haven't been working. So I went ahead and counted based on this number here, how many men I lost, and it's 2,235. We did not capture everyone, but it was really close. Like, we had them all pretty well beat up, and I mean, we were only a minute or two away from capturing basically all of them. We did use up quite a bit of supply, like 30,000 in supply, which isn't too bad. The other thing is that all the cores that we don't bring in, we can just drop their supply down to 0, because we obviously don't need their supply. And that'll give us some extra money, because at the end of the battle, both of these cores will be reset to 35,000. Which is really helpful. And towards the end, we will also be dropping the supply down on these guys, just so that we don't spend as much on their supply. Like, I don't know if I'll actually make much money off of them. It's mostly just so that I don't lose money, is basically what it is. So I could set them, like, if I've used 60k on each of them by the end of the battle, I could set them each to 10k, and then it'd be as though I didn't spend any money on supply. Depending on how much supply I actually need, it just kind of depends. We will see. You guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Well, I hope you guys have had as much fun as I've had. This has been a blast. I hope to see you back here for the next episode. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.